60 seconds. Don't overthink it.
Jeez. Okay.
That's right.
What do you got for me?
Top 5 athletes of any sport you want with the game on the line.
Ooh, are
Any
we talking
sport
like,
at all.
are we talking exhibition or like a playoff/championship game?
Championship, baby.
All right. I missed this opportunity the last time we talked about clutch. So I'm going to say Jordan Binnington, the goalie for the St. Louis Blues. And I'm sure you know his story, but that was a big one back in 2019, his rookie season, which is kind of even crazier. All right. So Jordan Binnington, give me, I want to get like different sports here. All right. So let me see here.
Do you want to alternate? I can give one.
Yeah. Go ahead. You know.
Okay. Mine would be Kobe Bryant.
That's fair. That's a good one. What about David Freese? Do you know who that is from the 2011 World Series?
Yeah,
Game
but
6?
I can't think of.
He played for the Cardinals for a while, and then he played for some other teams and kind of fizzled into retirement, we'll call it.
Okay. What position?
You know that story, though? Like, down to the last strike twice would have lost the World Series, and he hit like a triple one time, and then he hit a home run the next time, and it was the game-winning home run of that Game 6.
No, honestly, it doesn't ring a bell now.
It was huge, and obviously I grew up there. I was in St. Louis when it happened, and it was a huge deal, but widely talked about as one of the best baseball games of all time. So, David Freese in the clutch. Honestly, who wasn't that special of a player until the playoffs, and then all of a sudden he just went ape shit, including in the World Series, and we literally won the World Series because of him. So we'll give him the nod.
Okay. I like
Who's
that
your next one? Who's your next one?
My next one is Tom Brady.
I was going to say Tom Brady next.
I mean, you know, I'm kind of cherry picking top athletes, but game on the line.
Yeah, no, I think that seems reasonable. Let me throw out like a different one here. I'm going to say Cristiano Ronaldo, because we never talk about soccer here, but I feel like that guy's a big name, rightfully so. And I can't quote like stats and things, but I know he's a really big soccer player.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know soccer that well, but I know his name, so that must mean something, right?
Yes, I would think so. I know like Roger Pele is another one, like more historic name. So maybe Pele. He's got a kick named after him.
Okay, I like it. How about Scotty Scheffler?
Not this year.
Scotty Scheffler chasing from Thursday to Sunday with the game on the line. How about that version?
Well, you know you're guaranteed a second place finish.
That's fair. Maybe he wasn't the best pick then.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know well enough from like historical. I'm assuming Tiger or Jack would have been safe picks for that as well with how many wins they've gotten. But I'm going to really pivot here and say Anderson Silva from the UFC.
Wow.
Because that guy was on a tear for a very long time, many years considered the pound for pound greatest fighter in the world, including some times where it looked like he was absolutely going to lose and would just kind of pull out the win at the last second. And I believe the only reason that he actually did lose his title and lose that reign was because of arrogance and boredom. He started taunting all of the people he fought. He was playing with his food, and he actually got, like, while he was taunting, he got punched in the face and knocked out. And it wasn't because of like his fighting, it was because of his arrogance. And that was whenever everything started to fall apart for him.
Okay. That's fair. How about Rocky Balboa?
I mean, sure. We'll go with that.
I'm just joking. I was trying to name a boxer, and I was like, who's actually good in the clutch? It's got to be someone fake, right? How about, I don't know, though. Who was there really like a comeback boxer historically? I don't know enough about boxing history.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know like a lot of boxers would try to wear people out, like just to dodge and last long enough to wear out the opponents and then go after them. Like I think Muhammad Ali was kind of known for that. I know, Floyd Mayweather fights that way, but I wouldn't really call him a come from behind boxer. I would just call him a very elusive boxer. So
yeah, well, game on the line, right? So it's like,
I mean, Mayweather's never lost in his career, so you could throw him into that category, I think.
That's fair. He's from Grand Rapids too, so we'll give him a shout out.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
He's kind of a puss though. But anyway.
Okay. Well, hey, listen, Mayweather, if you're watching, Deeb said that was not me.
Come back to Grand Rapids. Let's fight.
Oh boy,
he doesn't want the smoke. He doesn't want the smoke.
Yeah, I'm sure you would kick his ass.
I mean, I've got a weight advantage on him, so
Yeah, let's see it, Deeb. I would love to see it. You wouldn't last a round.
I might.
No, you'd get.
I'd probably be out of breath.
You'd get gassed after a minute.
I just punch as hard as I could, hoping to hit him and knock him out.
Yeah, that's usually the non-boxer mentality.
I mean, well, I don't know, punch him in his ribs.
There you go. You could do the Jake Paul and just give him a bunch of hugs.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing that. Okay, where were we? I think I've named 4.
We got way off track. I feel like I've thrown out at least 5 now.
You have one more, I think.
Do I?
I think. Because I've done 4. That means I would have one more as well. And I just named mine.
That's fair. I'm trying to. What sport have I not mentioned yet?
NASCAR.
Oh gosh, I don't know shit about NASCAR.
Cricket.
What about Derek Jeter? I feel like isn't he nicknamed like Mr. November, like for his playoffs like consistency?
Maybe, yeah. Hopefully.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, Derek Jeter is just everything about him is likable and dependable, and so I'm pretty sure that he would make this list.
Depends on who you ask. You might get shit on for that.
Well, we'll see, I suppose.
I mean, I said Rocky Balboa, so.
Yeah, what the hell was that, by the way?
Well, what sport haven't we covered? NASCAR, we did baseball, basketball. Are there any major
hockey
sports?
and football,
bowling.
Who do you think you are?
What about Roger Federer
from tennis? That could be. Yeah.
I mean, game on the line. You don't trust that guy?
Well, depends. I would not anymore, but I would for a long time. Yeah.
Not modern day. All right, folks, there you have it. Top 5 athletes.
In the clutch, game on the line.
I forgot to say 60 seconds, don't overthink it.
You did say that, and we just completely ignored that.
6 minutes, sorry. 60 seconds, 6 minutes, same thing.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to the Single Barrel Sports Podcast. It's a pleasure to talk sports here tonight with my co-host, Mr.
Scott. Welcome in.
Scott, I do have to say one thing. I know recently we like in our old format, we used to kind of talk a little bit more formally and do like, hey, well, here's the episode number
Very
and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I do have to say this though, because we haven't said it in a while. Tonight's episode is 6-7.
Ooh.
So we got to throw in some 6-7s throughout for all the peeps out there who are fans.
Some teenagers on TikTok are going to be real psyched to hear that.
Yeah. So we're going to have to make sure to really emphasize that so we can get some great clips out of it tonight for our fans.
Okay. Yeah.
The other thing that we don't really do too much of, but I think it's really, really worth stopping for a moment to do this tonight, especially, is we hit a milestone that we've been talking about for quite some time, Scott. So what do we got for the people that we want to share with them? Because it's pretty special, I think, for both of us.
Yeah, well, what we want to share is a huge thank you to everyone who's followed and engaged with us really anywhere, but we've had a pretty big goal of getting to 200 YouTube subscribers, and we are officially at 201. So thank you so much. We're going to keep putting out the content, and we're going to have some new goals because the bigger this thing grows, the more people we get to talk sports with, and that's what it's all about. We'd love all of the comments and debates, even the shit talk. We love all of it, and we'll take all of it. So if you hate our list of athletes at the beginning of this episode, give us yours. I want to hear yours. And Deeb, I thought of someone we didn't mention.
Who's that?
Did you know Kawhi Leonard, NBA champion, is 6'7"?
Wow. I knew that was coming, or something like that was coming. I'm scared. You guys, if you're listening out
pretty quickly,
there,
didn't I?
How many 6-7s will be dropped tonight? Whoever gets the count right in the comments, maybe we'll get a little something. I don't know. It's a lot of counting.
I had to be quick with that one, so that there's not going to be as many of those as you might think, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Google is still here for the rest of the episode.
No, but I do agree with you, Scott. I mean, we've talked about it for months. We've had a goal to get there, and I know it's a weird thing at the end of the day. Like I always think about that. It sounds a little bit odd at first, but it's like there are 200 people that have taken the time to hit a little button or support us in some way for free, which, for us means a lot. I mean, we're not out here asking for money or anything like that. We're just doing this for fun, but it really does mean a lot for anyone out there who has taken the time to do that. And we really, really do appreciate you, honestly. So thank you for getting us to 200, folks.
Absolutely. And, we also engage in social media on a variety of different topics, music and sports and video games and whatever, anything in between. And I know what it's like to consume, but without hitting that button, that like button or that subscribe button or that follow button. It's very easy to just keep on trugging along, and maybe you hit it occasionally or maybe you don't. But for those who do, it does mean the world, and we just appreciate that.
Hell yeah. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the NBA because playoffs are here. They're full swing. I don't know if you saw the Pistons were down 3-1, Scott. I think at whatever point we were actually talking about that. I don't know if it was last time or the time before, but I don't want to talk specifically just about the playoffs. This can be in the mix if you'd like, but I saw a really interesting article online that I wanted to ask you about because I thought it was a really, really interesting question.
Okay.
And this person basically was talking about, and I know we've maybe floated this topic in the past, but they were talking about the differences between sports eras, and specifically for NBA is the one that stuck out to me,
Mm-hmm.
of like the differences that have gone on from, basically like the start of basketball in the NBA till now, but it really focused on like I'll call it like 60s plus, from the 60s on.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And it raised a very interesting question at the end, where it kind of talked about just like the changes and all the stuff. And it said something along the lines, I'm paraphrasing, like, how would you fix or change the NBA if you had the opportunity to do so? And I know that's a really big question, but I'm just kind of curious to hear your thoughts. I know you and I are not giant, we don't watch like every NBA game, but I mean, I've been
Mm-hmm.
watching some of the playoffs honestly lately, and we talk about, folks like LeBron and historical basketball players and stuff all the time. So I'm honestly really curious to hear what your thoughts are on.
I'm gonna give you a troll one first, and then we'll break this down for real. So,
Mm.
first change as an NBA fan that I would make to the sport overall. This is my troll response. Why the hell is there a maximum number of games that you have to play in order to be eligible for a season award? That doesn't make any sense. If you didn't do good enough because you didn't play enough games, then you just don't win the award. But if you did well enough and just happened to play like a couple, too few games to be eligible, but you still were in contention for MVP like Luka Doncic was, why are we excluding these people? Just because, let's say he had, was it like a childbirth and then an injury or something like that, right? Like, I don't remember if it was childbirth, but it was something personal related where he went back overseas for a bit. But if the dude still would have won the MVP, even after missing that many games, or at least been in contention, right? Like maybe he doesn't win, but he's in the contention, like he was still in the discussion. How the hell are we going to make him ineligible for that? Like, if you did enough in a fewer number of games, then maybe you do deserve the reward. I don't know. The award should be given to whoever's done the most. And just because you haven't played as many games doesn't mean you didn't do the most. That should weed itself out naturally. If you only played 60 games, and I get it, right? They're probably trying to reduce load management and things like that to get a better fan experience. So they're like, well, if your superstars want to win these awards, they have to play this many games. So I get it from that standpoint. But like, there are some extenuating circumstances where, like, if you just actually were the best player and you happen to play one game too few, how the hell are you going to not be eligible for the award? Then that just is actually insane to me. So that's my soapbox. I don't know. What do you think?
Is it only for one award, or is it for all of them? Do you know?
Good question. Obviously, I know that it is for MVP.
Okay. Not super important, but I was just more genuinely curious.
Yeah.
If there's like a weird rule or something.
I'm going to try and look that up really quick here. But yeah, go ahead and kind of tell me what you think, and then I'll tell you another response that I have for the fixing the NBA.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't actually know that. That's the first time I've heard of that you had to have a certain threshold.
Mm-hmm. Oh, here we go. Actually, I got the answer really quick. You have to play 65 regular season games to be eligible for MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, and all NBA teams. It says it's for all the major awards. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, is that more so? I guess, okay, hold on. I have to back up because I am very ignorant, and this is why my thing shouldn't say above average guy. It should say below average sports fan. How do they actually pick the MVP? Is it like voting that happens? Is it like the owners or like the players or a mixture?
It's a panel of 100 sports writers and broadcasters.
Okay.
So, and also, as I was Googling this information real quick, apparently they do make exceptions. The NBA and the NBA Players Association can jointly approve eligibility for players who fall just short. And it actually specifically mentions Luka as an example here.
Yeah.
However, it just shouldn't be that way. That's actually crazy to me to think that they would have to like jointly approve it. It should just be like, well, if this guy missed, 15 games or whatever, and he was still the best player in the league for the whole season, then he should just get the damn award, in my opinion.
Also, what's the point of having a threshold?
It's got to be, I don't know the origin, but my guess would be because of load management. I feel like that's become such a hot topic in basketball that they probably are trying to incentivize players to actually play by making them ineligible for season-long awards if they don't play a certain number of games.
Yeah. Well, I hate to say it, but there you go. There's the answer to the problem that we need to fix.
Load management?
Yeah, the fact that that's even a thing now is probably part of the challenge.
Oh, yeah. You got to go put on for your city, man. Who's sitting on the bench in a suit whenever the team's playing? I mean, I would never want to do that. I don't care if we already made the playoffs or not.
Yeah, I mean, why not just give them all PTO at this point?
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, what's the difference?
Do you want to know what my real answer would be to fixing NBA? From a fan's perspective, I think this has become such an issue. NHL recently, and when I say recently, it's been in for like at least 5 years now, but they introduced a penalty for embellishment, right? So if guys try to draw penalties and they embellish to try and draw a penalty, then they actually get a penalty on themselves instead. Oh. Can you imagine if Shea was doing this stupid thing where he like jumps into a guy and then flops backward as he's shooting, gets a foul himself then? You don't get the 2 points for the make it. You don't get the and one. In fact, the other team's getting that ball, and it's a foul on you now. Because what has happened is like the actual integrity of the sport is, in my opinion, the integrity of the sport is tarnished so much when you just reward people for like this stupid ass, soft ass gameplay. And it's been going on for decades. LeBron has done it. James Harden has done it. Russell Westbrook has done it. Shea has done it. I mean, there's tons of people who have benefited from this, right? Flopping has been around for a long time. But tell me one fan that actually likes flopping. People might be able to justify flopping and getting the penalties or the fouls, but who likes it? Who thinks that's actually good for the sport?
People that like fish.
So that's how I would fix the NBA, and I think it would make it a better fan experience is if the referees could call embellishment for people who are purposely flopping and trying to draw penalties. And I would almost take it a step further and let each team like challenge one per game to try and force a replay if the refs don't see it, to really start making these things actually get called. But that's me.
Yeah. Okay.
And you fair. Heard, and I'm being objective because I even mentioned that LeBron flops, you know? So I'm being objective here.
Are you saying that for tone?
Yeah, Tony, if you're listening, don't at me.
Wow, he's happy now. Oh, man. Okay. So you want my laundry list?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So hear me out. Hear me out. The hoops have been, 10 foot for how long? How about we raise those hoops up just a bit, maybe 10 and a half feet? I don't know. It doesn't have to be anything drastic, right? Like it doesn't have to be 12 feet or something crazy, but change it ever so slightly so that everything becomes more difficult and it throws everybody off, right? Okay. So it's like this weird, holy crap, like now we have to adjust, it's going to be harder to do certain things. Like I feel like that kind of revolutionizes the game in itself. So that's number one. Number two, I think I've gone back and forth about you take away the 3-point line, but then I was like, yeah, no, that kind of makes it more boring because like who wants to just watch only twos? But what if you added like a scoring, some other way to score, whether it's like and you could debate on this all night. Is it like a further line? Is it like you pick something really weird where it's like a certain spot, like how they do in some of these like
NBA more street type stuff?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like there's a circle or something like that where if you make it from there, you get maybe 6 or 7 points.
Oh, there it was.
Something like that, like the special spot or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that would be one to consider, just figuring out if there's a way to change the scoring a bit or offer a different way to score. I think you definitely go in and lessen maybe... Yeah, like some of the stuff that you've already mentioned, the flopping and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think that definitely needs to be taken care of because that's a challenge. And then lastly, I think it would be interesting to do, instead of like an all-star weekend, because I know we've talked about this in the past, how it gets like super gimmicky at times with some of that stuff. Right. I feel like it would be really cool to do something similar to what hockey did with the 4 nations, and somehow make it, because now there's so many international players in the NBA compared to like a long time ago. I think it would be cool to have something like that, like a mini tournament of some sort with like other countries, or like put some of the NBA players, you know what I mean, in their like country teams or whatever.
It feels like the United States would probably still dominate that, but it would be a little more competitive than it has historically, and it would be different. I just feel like you said, there's so much gimmicky nature in a lot of all-star games these days. I liked it better whenever like the winner of the all-star game would get home field advantage or home court advantage for like the finals, because then it made everyone for that conference really have something to play for, unless they were maybe like a garbage team.
Mm-hmm.
It just feels like if there's literally no stakes at all, then what the hell is even the point?
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, that would be my short list of random things to try.
I'm good for all of that. The circle idea is kind of funny. you know, I'll sign off on that one too.
Something, it can be something. I don't know exactly what it could be, but it's just like experiment with it, try something. I don't know. Try it for a year, see how it goes. Maybe it
Okay.
works, maybe it's crap, and then you just get rid of it.
Yeah,
So,
I'm down.
but I know that kind of skews some stuff a bit in terms of, like if people were record, if they're in the record books and it's like, oh, if I can score like 6-pointers instead of like 2 or 3, I have a huge advantage. But
Right.
what's
Can you
the
imagine
likelihood
Steph
if you
Curry,
make
though?
it hard?
Steph Curry be draining those 6-pointers all game long.
Well, if you make it hard enough of a shot, they're not going to make that many of them.
Well,
So
and
it's
if it's a certain spot, then it's easier to defend that certain spot too, instead of just being behind a line.
Exactly. But can you imagine if you were down by like 12 and someone came down and hit 2 6-pointers and all of a sudden you're tied in like 20 seconds? That would be
Some
like
Reggie Miller stuff.
Yeah, that would just make it super crazy. You know what I mean? To be like, what they just came back like instantly.
Yeah.
So it's almost like adding like a football score to the game of basketball or something.
I guess, yeah, it would be a touchdown. Huh?
So I don't know. So yeah, so I thought that was an interesting one. Curious though, if anyone out there is an NBA fan or you watch the NBA or you have an opinion, what would you change about the game if you care enough? If you don't care, then it is what it is. So this one also this concept of the NBA made me think of this, and I'll tell you why, because I have one person in mind. But we talked about the top 5 people that we would pick who are with the game on the line in any sport.
Mm-hmm.
What about who's your short list of top 5 people who are most likely douchebags in real life?
Aaron Rodgers,
like
easily.
their persona.
Aaron Rodgers is such an easy answer to me. Everything about that guy is the ick, and I feel like he's probably just a jackass in real life.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. That's my first one. You want me to keep going, or do you want to alternate? Or
what do you think Packers fans will say to that?
I think they probably would agree with me, even though they probably still love the guy for all the success that he brought their team.
It's fair. It's fair. One of mine was Draymond Green.
Oh, yeah. That guy's a prick.
I was thinking of basketball or NBA, and for whatever reason that stuck in my head. So that's kind of what led me to the question.
Yeah. No, I think that's reasonable.
But that's one. And it is kind of funny because I don't know if it was you that sent me the video, but did you see he was on that like show or whatever that Anthony Davis does where they like prank people?
Oh, yeah, dude, that was so funny.
Yeah, I watched it and he was on there and he actually seemed like a nice guy in the show. And then stuff kind of started going south and he like a completely different side of him came out. And I was like,
yeah,
that's kind of how I imagine him, but he probably has more than one side to be fair.
Yeah, for sure.
So who else you got?
I'm going to just mark a couple guys off the list, and we don't even have to comment on this, all right? But, like, NFL's got a lot of douchebags that have gone down in history. So, like, we don't even need to talk about, like, Aaron Hernandez or Ray Rice. Am I right?
Wow.
Pretty proven douchebags, right? Or Antonio Brown.
Douchebags or criminals?
Well, both. Yeah, both.
Okay.
Let me go with there's a guy I want to say that I won't say because he's also a Packers legend. So let me say
Brett Favre.
Yeah. Let me say Pac-Man Jones.
What?
Pac-Man Jones. That guy was always
not one I would ever think of.
Dude, he's so dirty and he was always trying to hurt people. I'm gonna go Pac-Man Jones for sure.
His name is Pac-Man. He eats people.
He tried to, yeah.
One of mine, this is very, very taking a turn for what you were just saying, but Patrick Cantlay.
Okay. I don't know anything about Cantlay, so I'll take your word for that.
Just literally look at him. I have no idea. He could literally be the nicest guy in the world. I don't know him personally, clearly, but when you just watch him on TV and watch his mannerisms, you're like, that guy's a douchebag, bro. I don't know. Something about him.
Conor McGregor, certified douchebag. Very entertaining. Certified douchebag.
That's fair. I don't even know how many I've named, so at this point I'm just kind of going off of memory. Let me think. Who else? How about I'm trying to think of what have we named? NFL, NBA, golf, you named MMA. UFC.
Yeah.
You know who is kind of a douchebag is Floyd Mayweather. I know we talked about him earlier, but he is kind of like, if you listen to him, I don't know, he's very interesting.
There's a lot in combat sports. You could go ahead and just chuck up Jake Paul onto that list as well.
Oh, yeah.
Give me you're going to love this one. Give me Sean Payton.
Really?
Yeah, bro. Do you remember the whole bounty thing with the Saints?
The Saints, yeah.
Yeah, bro. Like when you were giving people thousands of dollars for intentionally hurting people in games, putting bounties on players. Come
That's
on,
fair.
that's douchebag.
I
People
have
forget about
one.
that. No one talks about that anymore, but that happened.
I have one now that you mentioned a coach. But
All
yeah,
right.
no, I mean that yeah. I see what you're saying with Sean Payton now. Is he the coach of the Broncos now?
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Okay.
people have quite literally forgotten about the whole bounty gate thing. It never
Yeah.
gets talked about ever.
He reinvented himself.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Mine is Kurt Signetti.
Okay,
And like I know he's kind of just quirky, but he kind of is also a douchebag. Like
yeah,
I don't know, his personality is just tippy toppy.
that's
It's
fair. No, that's fair.
different. Let's put it out there. So
I only have one more. I'm trying to think who to use it on. Actually, give me Alex Rodriguez. We haven't talked about baseball players yet,
that's
but
a good one.
he may be coming around. You know, he's not a great sports broadcaster, but he's been doing that, and he's better than I thought he might be. But man, that guy used to be such a tool.
It's fair. That's fair. I understand what you're saying with that one. Okay. My only other one I can think of is everybody at Ohio State for football.
I almost called out Ohio State, so I'm glad.
I had to throw it out there. You know, the entire everybody,
There we go.
everybody
Yep.
ever, and their coaches.
Especially Urban Meyer.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Okay. All right. So now that we're down this path, we're down this train of throwing stuff out. We're gonna do a random thought generator because we got the juices flowing, Scott. So
Okay.
here's what we're gonna do. One of us will throw out a name at random. We can just kind of go back and forth. And the other person, or excuse me, you can throw out, how about let's do name and or team. It doesn't have to be like, you can say a specific team if you want, like the Super Bowl winning Patriots of this year or whatever. It can be as specific as you want.
Okay. Yep.
So you say it, and then the other person has to react, but just you have to give the take immediately. You know what I mean? Don't look anything up. It's just like whatever's on your mind, just say it out loud, and then we'll do the next one.
Okay.
You want to go first? You want me to go?
I can go first. Are you ready for it? Peyton Hillis.
Extremely muscular guy. And wasn't he on the cover of Madden?
He sure was, just very randomly. Yep.
That's the first thing that came to my mind when I thought of him. Maybe sounded a little weird. I might have to rethink how I phrase that. Now that I think about it. All right, mine is let's see here. Yao Ming.
Very tall, very talented.
Very that sounded like a commercial. Or like an OnlyFans marketing thing.
Yao Ming, very tall, very talented.
Jesus, man, that's a good one.
Right.
Okay.
This is a deep cut. I'm going to see if you know this one. I don't
shit.
expect many people to know this one, so I apologize in advance.
Oh.
But Javid Best,
Football player.
Mm-hmm. Detroit Lions running back.
I don't remember much about him though. Like I know I can picture him, but I don't remember anything about him, honestly.
Javid Best is the single greatest tragedy that's ever happened to me in fantasy football sports history. His rookie season, I drafted him very late. I had a lot of faith in this guy, and like a few weeks into the season, he had like back-to-back like 40-plus point fantasy football games. And then he had a major concussion, and then like he came back and had like another concussion, and they were basically just like, yeah, your career is over. And we just never saw him again. Yeah, just a tragedy because the dude was a stud. He was very fast. He was kind of like Devon Achane, where he kind of did everything. He caught a bunch of passes. He was super fast. And it was just like, what a career it could have been that was cut short because of like too many blows to the head.
Yeah, I mean,
sorry, that was such a deep cut. It just came to my mind.
What number was he? Was he like, I'm trying to even remember, like,
I feel like it was like in the 40, like a number 40 or something. Let me see here.
Okay.
We're trying to pull up
yeah, okay.
44.
Okay.
44.
Okay. I was going to say, I feel like I remember him being a really weird number. That's why I recall.
It's like a fullback number, but he was like a super fast, shifty running back. So kind of awkward.
Okay. You ready for the next one?
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go. Mick Foley.
Mick Foley, man of, okay, let me start over. Mick Foley is the man who built an entertainment industry by inflicting significant pain upon himself. That's how I know.
Wearing a sock.
The sock was part of the persona. Mankind.
What was it, Mr. Sacco?
Yeah, Mr. Sacco.
Dude, he would just shove it in people's throats.
Yeah, he was one of a kind, that's for sure. All
My
right, I got
God.
one for you.
Okay.
J.R. Smith.
The reason they lost that one game, I don't remember what he did. He like passed it out of
he
bounds or
started
something.
he started running the wrong way. Remember, LeBron gave him
Yeah,
the
yeah,
ball
yeah.
and then he
Okay.
ran the wrong direction when there was only like 5 seconds left. He ran towards the wrong
Didn't he
hoop.
miss a free throw too or something weird?
Probably,
I
man.
feel like he missed
Probably.
a free throw at the end that like cost him the game as well. I mean, that's what I remember. I mean, I remember other stuff about him, but that was like the very first thing that comes to mind.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the next one is let me think here. I got to give you a good one now. I can't just can't just be like cookie cutter stuff anymore because
Okay. Yeah.
we're getting into the deep cuts like you said.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, how about gold dust?
Gold dust. I can't. There's no words. It's just that's gold dust.
Isn't
And
he?
then in the shattered dreams, that's the move.
Isn't he Cody Rhodes' brother?
He is. Yes, he is.
I did not know that.
Yep.
Or I mean, I knew that now, but I did not know that for the longest time.
Yep. Yep.
That's
Dustin
crazy.
Rhodes is his that's his actual like name.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Who do you got?
Ooh. Damn, I just had one. It's escaping me now. Let me do James Harrison.
Football player.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he was in a commercial recently that I saw.
Was he?
Yeah, I don't know why, but I'm thinking literally of some sort of random commercial with him in it. Super Bowl winner, I believe.
Oh yeah.
That's all I got. Honestly, I don't know too much about the guy.
He was the Steelers linebacker, and he
Yeah.
was the dude that was just like an absolute like freak, like just super huge, like strong,
Mm-hmm.
not very fast, but like just like you didn't want to get hit by that guy. He was a freight train.
Okay.
I would go with
Yeah.
like Ray Lewis or something, but that's way too obvious. So James Harrison's
Yeah.
kind of like the Timu Ray Lewis.
Yeah. Well, I almost said Ray Lewis, to be fair. All right. Let me think of one for you. I gotta think of a good one. One that's not super vanilla. How about Tom Kim?
First thing that comes to mind is my boy. Bit of a letdown, but his time will come. We love Tom Kim around here.
Wow. Okay.
I got one more for you.
Okay. Let's do the last. How about we do two more?
Two more. Okay.
Okay.
Danny Woodhead.
Super small white dude that was super random, but very good at fantasy football for a few years.
Yes,
Kind of came out of nowhere.
Yep.
That's at least what comes to mind when I think of it. All right, last one's got to be a good one, huh? How about O.J. Simpson?
I almost just spit out my bourbon. The slowest, longest chase in a Bronco that I've ever seen. Also, the only slow chase in a Bronco that I've ever seen.
Wow. Okay, I feel you. That's hilarious. Oh man. Okay, I like that. But the real question, Scott, though, is I was thinking about this the other day. We had I don't remember if I told you this, but we had a coaches football meeting probably a couple weeks ago where we just all got together on a weekend and just talked about like the season to come and the off season and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you've ever been around people who use these like old school sports sayings all the time. Like,
oh, yeah.
Like, defense wins championships and like kind of that sort of stuff where it's like a very generic phrase. So I'd be curious to go through some of those. We can kind of just like name some of them, the ones that we maybe have commonly heard or hear people say. And I'd be curious to just talk about them. Like, are they actually real? Does it have any, you know what I mean? Is it just BS or bullshit? Or is it like you got something here with that saying and that's why people keep saying it? So how about we start with that one? Defense wins championships. What's your take on that old saying that everyone always uses?
The saying has stuck around for eternity because there is some truth to it. And I've thought about this a lot before. Like, why is it that defense wins championships? Why can't offense win championships? And I'm going to shout out the best explanation that I've ever heard came actually from Jordan, our friend who's been on this podcast before. I had never heard anyone say this before. It made a lot of sense to me, but he basically said that he has like kind of thought about this as that offensive players, there's more pressure on them every single down to make the play, no matter what sport it is, right? Like every single moment, there's more pressure on the offense to be the one making the play at all times. And so with that comes like the yips or the nerves or like something that can cause them to mess up kind of more consistently, right? So somebody missing shots in a basketball game, right? Or like a kicker missing a field goal. or wide receivers dropping passes. Like these are kind of high pressure moments where the responsibility falls suddenly in that moment. It all falls to one person, and it puts that pressure solely on that one person. And it makes offenses inherently a little bit less consistent than defenses, because while there are moments where defensive stops may fall on the shoulders of one person, for the most part, you're just kind of out there doing the same thing for the whole game on defense and just doing it consistently and never having to really like rise up in a moment, at least not as frequently as offense. And so when I heard that, I was like, that kind of makes sense to me. Like, I still think offense can win championships, but I understand now why we consistently talk about you need good defense to win championships. And I think it's because there's more consistency on that side of the ball than there is on offense if you look at an entire season or series or playoffs or whatever you're talking about.
Okay, that's fair.
You never heard of someone getting the yips and not being able to like tackle. You know what I mean? Like that's just not like a thing you really hear about.
Yeah, but people do miss tackles. But I know what you're saying. There's a little bit of a difference there. I don't know. I think defense can help to win a championship. I don't know that solely defense wins championships. What I mean by that is, let's say your defense gives up 0 points. If your offense scores 0 points, you don't win.
Yeah.
So by that logic, you have to have some offense, even if it's minimal, right?
Yeah.
So I think saying
the Pirates in baseball, right? Like Paul Skeens is an amazing pitcher.
Yeah,
but his win-loss ratio is actually kind of terrible compared to other pitchers that are of the same skill level as him.
So I think there is some truth to it. I just feel like this, if I had to guess, the saying was some old dude that was like trying to finish his sentence and stroked out middle of the sentence. And so people only say defense wins championships. And in the middle of that, he was going to say, but you got to have an offense that scores. And that's the complete sentence that I think people should start using moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, I think that all parts of the ball in any sport matter, right? Like some sports have special teams, or maybe that's just football, but you know what I mean? Like, yeah. I think there is a joint responsibility on any player on the team, but I can see where the consistency of a defense is just inherently more, and why that might mean you need to be better in that area to win more consistently.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, what's one of the sayings that you have heard, or give me one that you've either used or heard people say that's pretty common?
Yeah, there's one that I quote regularly in my life. Oftentimes it's a meme, but I think that it's a great sports quote too, and it's Wayne Gretzky when he said, "You miss 100% of the shots that you never take." And I'm like, well, that's true. It reminds me, there's a quote from the movie Never Back Down, which might sound silly, but just walk with me on this journey, okay? That's an MMA movie. Great movie. One of my favorites from the 2000s. Towards the end of the movie, the guy says to his coach, "Doing nothing has consequences too." Like you're so worried about making a mistake that you never actually take the action. And so I kind of relate that to what Wayne Gretzky is saying here, that you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. If you never take the shot, you're never going to score the goal. You know what I mean? Sure. And so I can pass it back and forth 20 times on a power play in hockey, but then we've burned up the entire 2 minutes of that power play. And we held possession, but we never actually put any shots on goal, which means we never scored. And so I love this quote because it kind of means like eventually you're going to have to bet on yourself, or you're never going to score, which is the same thing as missing every single shot.
Well, ironically enough, Scott, that quote is almost counterintuitive to defense wins championships.
Yes, it is.
Because it's kind of honestly the opposite. Basically saying that, not fully, but you know what I mean? It's saying like, if you don't take any shots, you miss it. But then you got to score to win, to be fair.
I mean, both things are true for sure.
Okay. I like that one. That's a good one. One that I feel like I hear a lot of people use, and it goes back to our first discussion about people in the clutch.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like people will say, you got to act like you've been here before.
I love this quote.
That's like a pretty old school, old timer one.
Oh, yeah.
So what are your thoughts on that one?
Overall, I tend to agree with this. I have a funny story. If you'll, again, let me just walk down a journey with me here. But when I was in seventh or 8th grade, playing little league football, one of my best friend, his name was Justin, and he was a running back or a fullback. He kind of went back and forth between like the backfield. He had never scored a touchdown before, although he was a great football player and was very consistently getting yards and productive for our team. And I will never forget, there was a time where I threw him a toss and he ran outside, and the linebacker or the corner or whoever came to try and tackle him, and he did a spin move and made the guy miss. and there was no one in front of him, and he ran like 60 yards down the field. And for like the last 20 yards he was running, he just had like his finger in the air, like he was like celebrating for 20 yards running down the field. And I'll never forget my brother, who didn't know that that was his first ever touchdown. He came over to the sideline, and my brother Rob, who he was one of our like assistant coaches, he like slapped him on the side of the helmet and was like, "Hey, next time act like you've been there before." Because he was basically just like, "Dude, you look like a fool celebrating 20 yards down the field. Like you held your hand in the air for like 10 seconds while you were running. Like, what are you doing?" And I think that there is a fine line here. There is such thing as like celebrating with your teammates, but I feel like you can also look kind of foolish if you celebrate too much just by yourself and act like this is like something that you've never done or never will do again.
Mm-hmm.
There is something about winning with humility. I think that is really important. And obviously you're not doing that if you're celebrating your own successes. But if that teammate comes up and wants to chest bump you or do some sort of celebration, go celebrate with your boys. You don't got to do it by yourself. That's kind of where I draw the line.
Okay.
Also, can you imagine Justin doing that? Because you know him. I feel like that.
Yeah,
you can kind of picture that, right?
Oh yeah, I was picturing it as you described it. To be honest, that's fair. I mean, this one's a little interesting to me because in that situation, like someone says it, but the person has never been there before, and so it's a little bit weird, right? Because I think I understand the meaning behind it. You're telling them like, hey, you got to act like this hasn't been your first time because
Right.
you're kind of making a fool of yourself in a way. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What do you think about that, Scott? It almost kind of feels like you're telling someone to suppress their feelings in a weird way.
I think that the discipline of not just like impulsively celebrating yourself is a great skill that a lot of people should work on a little bit. I think that there's a time and a place for celebrating your own accomplishments. Reflection is great. Highly advocate for that for anybody out there. Think about in life in general what you're doing that is making a difference and progressing you through your goals and all of that. But maybe in sports you don't do it in the moment, especially while the play is still going, just with yourself. I think that it does look foolish. It does make it appear like, oh well, this guy never does this. He must never do this. He must suck. Like that's the vibe that I get from it. That or this guy's arrogant. This guy's an idiot. Because he's doing this every time. There's like it's a dichotomy there. And so, yeah, I think celebrating is cool with your team. I think celebrating your own self every time you do something cool is kind of lame.
That's fair. I get where you're coming from. What's another one? Let's do one more. What's another one that you've heard that's commonly used?
There's so many of them. I think about, I'm going to name a few and then you tell me which one you want to talk about. Okay. Practice makes perfect. You hear that all the time. Take one for the team. I feel like there's another one.
There is no I in team.
There's no I in team. It's not whether you get knocked down. It's whether you get up.
Okay, Rocky.
No pain, no gain. That's another big one. Yeah. Which one do you want to break down?
Or
play to the final whistle?
What was the first one you said?
You're putting me on the spot here. The hell did I say?
It was, I was just literally thinking of the like two that you just said. That's why I'm forgetting it.
I'm in the same boat.
We'll have to rewind the tape.
Yeah.
Guys, if you're listening still, what did we just say? No, I mean,
here.
I think it was, I don't know, I'm blanking.
Practice makes perfect. Take one for the team.
Practice makes perfect. I think that might have been the one.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. I mean, that one's a little convoluted, and I've heard a lot of people honestly use this one and change the words because it's like a real cliche saying, and I have heard people say practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect, or like, good practice makes like there's like like different variations of it, and I think the point is nothing makes perfect. Like that's why I don't like that saying, because even if you have the best practices in the world, it does not make perfect. Nothing really generally makes perfect. You can get to a level that's really, really high. And if you're practicing at that very, very high level, you can play that way. And honestly, it goes to a lot of stuff in life. But I think using the word perfect is a false promise for anything, honestly. Yeah. So I don't usually like to use that word, more so just because I feel like it's like false. It's like a fairy tale.
Yeah, it's inevitable. You can never be perfect. It's like it's chasing after something you'll never reach. And I don't think it's healthy to try and accomplish perfect.
Sure, for sure. So yeah, so that's one that I'm kind of just like, a little boomer for me.
Yeah, I know and I don't know if this is like a quote that you've picked up over time, but I know in the classroom you used to say practice makes permanent was a thing that I heard you say before. And I kind of adopted that when it comes to like public speaking, I think is the way that you used to teach it. And I've kind
I
of
don't even
adopted
remember
that.
this.
And you don't even remember, but I think that the thing that resonates with me is that you can build permanent, structure, permanent routine, permanent discipline. Like you can build permanency in some of these things with how you approach real life through practice. You can never accomplish perfection. And so I really like that quote, and apparently it didn't mean a whole lot to you, but it has meant a whole lot to me.
Not that it didn't mean anything. It's just probably so long ago. I don't,
Yeah,
I don't.
I just remember I heard you say that
it.
in the class once, or saw it in a slide or something, and I was just like, I really like that, and I just kind of held on to that all these years now.
That's fair. If I had to do it again, I don't know if I would say permanent. I would probably use, I don't put in the hours or something. I don't know. Like I think it's more so about practice your craft or something like that. I don't know. I'm trying to think of like an alternative. Because at the end of the day, like you're reaching for something. I think that's what you put in is what you end up later on. You're going to like permanentize those types of habits or make them, I don't even want to say permanent. It's like you just make them more, and in sports,
it's more
the
natural,
same thing.
right?
Yeah, like in sports, if you have a bad swing in golf and you always have the same bad swing and you don't fix it and you continue to do that for hours, it's going to continue to be bad.
Yep. That's me.
You got to figure out what to fix and then practice it that way instead.
Yeah, and mine still sucks because that's me.
Well, you know what you got to do.
Yeah.
All right, how about we do some NBA second round playoff picks and then we get out of here.
Okay, let's get it.
Okay. So second round is set officially, and I believe they might be starting tonight because I think
they are.
Are the Lakers playing?
Yeah, they're down 4 right now in the third.
Oh shit! Why do I not have the Lakers?
You put
Thunder versus OKC. I'm an idiot.
Well, that's kind of what it's probably going to be. To be fair,
I was just giving you the answers to the test.
Yep.
All right, Pistons, Cavs.
I'm gonna go Cavs. I know that's not popular with you. I just feel the Pistons won tonight, so I actually already know they're up 1-0 in their series. But I feel like the Cavs pulled this out because I don't know if the Pistons can beat, them 4 times.
I would have said the Cavs. 100% would have said the Cavs. But I think basketball is a momentum sport, and the Pistons
they've got it right now.
Pulled one out of their ass in that series and really honestly just brought the momentum. So if they can continue the momentum, I'm going to go with the Pistons this time. Because
having a 1-0 lead is great too. But there was a home game for them, so we'll see.
Before you even told me that, I was going to pick them. To be fair. Knicks.
Oh, that's a tough one. I think I'm going to go with the Knicks, but I could see that one going either way.
I don't really even know how the 76ers made it here, I'll be honest. I know they're not a bad team, but I think the Knicks win. I think one.
And Embiid is hurt, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the Knicks,
that doesn't help.
Knicks are the better team, and if Embiid is playing hurt or not playing at all, then yeah, give me the Knicks.
All right, your boys. The Los Angeles Snakers versus the Thunder.
I don't see a world where the Lakers win this. I want them to, but I don't see a world where they do. They're only losing by 4 right now. So my mind could be changed if they somehow squeak out a win on the road tonight, but I just don't see it happening. Luka, I think, is supposed to come back like game 3. So they're going to have to survive 2 games without him that are both going to be on the road. Give me OKC.
Is Reeves back?
Yeah, Reeves is shooting 1 for 7 right now tonight. He's been really bad since he came back.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have to go with the Thunder. You know why?
Yeah, because they haven't introduced the embellishment rules yet, but they will.
Because they haven't raised the hoops to 10'5" yet. Spurs versus Timberwolves.
I did see that the Timberwolves went and actually stole a win last night, but give me the Spurs. I just think they're the better team, and I want to see Wemby at least go to the finals this year. I think that'd be sick.
Yeah, I mean, if Wemby stays healthy, I know, didn't he like fall and kind of hit his head or whatever in the last series?
Yeah.
I mean, how tall is that guy? Like 7'6"?
It's something ridiculous, yeah.
Not
like
6'7".
Hard to even imagine. Wow.
7'6". I like the Spurs. I think the Timberwolves do have it in them to win, but I like the Spurs with him healthy.
Yeah,
so
I agree with that.
That's who we got for round 2.
Who do you got winning the whole thing? If you just had to name a team right now.
Honestly, Pistons.
Yeah, Pistons.
Yeah, it's like this is the best way I can describe it real quick. Do you remember when Michigan in college basketball was like dominating during the regular season. Then kind of at the end they fluttered a bit, and then all of a sudden when they got into the bracket, they were like dunking on everyone and won. That's the same way this Pistons teams feels, is they had this flutter moment in that first round where you're like, what is this? This is not the Pistons team we just saw in the regular season. So if they can continue on the momentum path, give me the Pistons, baby. 2026.
Where does Cade Cunningham rent? Where does he rank in NBA players right now in your mind? Just off the top of your mind. I won't fact check you on this.
Top 15.
15? Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't feel like there's not a lot of media around the Pistons. I mean, you might see more because you live in Michigan, but now that I've moved out of state, I feel like I never hear about them other than, that they were like a 1 seed coming into the playoffs this year. And so I don't know a lot about the makeup of their team. I know the name Cade Cunningham. I know he's the guy there, but I don't really know. Like, if you ask me where he stacks up statistically against other stars in the league right now, I would have no idea like where he's at.
Yeah. I mean, they're number one for a reason. Let's put it that way. In terms of like why they're ranked there. Mine's not as much from media. Mine's honestly just from guys that are fans that I know in the state that keep me up to date on what's going on.
That's fair.
So,
yep. All right. So my team to win is going to be the New York Knicks this year. And
wow.
We're going to see. But it might be coming back to New York. It's been a while, right? I don't think they've won in a while.
Long time, yeah. That'd be crazy. I like that. I like that one, though.
They got a squad, bro. Timothy Chalamet goes to all their games, so you got to play good in front of him. And
wow,
Jalen Brunson, he's that guy too.
Let's go. All right, Scott. Well, we'll see what happens with the playoffs, but until next time.
Cheers, my man. Have a good time. Enjoy playoff basketball. Enjoy golf this weekend.
Hell yeah. Cheers, friends.